Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couch Crunch Podcast. I'm your host, Nick. I have my co-host with me, Don, here on this episode. And on this episode, we're actually going to be diving into Prey. I don't know if anybody has gotten a chance to really watch this movie. It's fantastic. It's a little bit of a description. It's basically like Predator, but I'm guessing before the first Predator movie takes place. Yeah. So I think we're definitely going to be diving into this episode and just kind of going over that. Don, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of get us started on this episode.
Got you. Yep, it's me here, Don, and hope everyone's doing well. And we're gonna jump into Prey. And make sure you guys like and subscribe and all that jazz and whatever. Really appreciate it. Support y'all been giving us lately. But let's get into it. So with Prey, like you were just saying, it's like a pre to all the other Predator movies. It's like back in the time period of, I believe this one takes place in the 1700s.
Yeah, it's like 17. I want to say 1717, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
it takes place in America, where this is around the time when the natives were, the majority of what America was. So the Native Americans, and it's centered around this tribe of Native Americans that, do the typical hunting and gathering of food. And it starts off showing that our main character, she's a female, and she's trying to be with the men as a group, where like typically the women are, in the morning time they scavenge for like the leftover food, when the men at nighttime they hunt the wild animals. So that's like their roles. But the main character, she's trying to hunt with the men, so she's trying to prep herself in the beginning to train herself and to be able to hang with the men and hunt the wild animals. So at first you're seeing like it shows the perspective of the prey and the predator. So it shows like different examples of like animals that are like, for instance, first it shows like a mouse, and then like a snake. And then it shows like the dynamic of the food chain of how animals are hunted and the prey. But that's the thing. Before that though, I kind of went ahead a little bit. It just shows the typical day of how things go on, which I thought was cool, because it shows like how natives gradually like hunt and everything.
That's what I was about to say too. I was about to say, like, I thought what was interesting mostly about the film is that we got a little bit of an experience, like kind of a glimpse on like what it was like to actually, hunt in certain ways. I'm guessing like it was interesting to kind of see like a tribe that was, that was like a long time ago, back in the 1700s, and how they had to like prove their skills and their knowledge on how to hunt and stuff like that. There's always like having to prove themselves to become like the top, I'm guessing the top person in their tribe. So that's what it kind of seemed like, what it was like for the main character, because it seemed like she knew she had the skill set. She just had to prove it to her tribe, but it was kind of difficult for her to do that. You know what I mean? Because, her own brother actually was like one of the top hunters inside the tribe. So it was kind of hard to, I'm guessing. There was never a competition or anything, but in her mind, she knew like she just wanted to prove herself that just because she's a woman,
right.
There's no difference, in that, in wanting to like do better and hunt and shit like that. Like I just think like, that's why it was difficult for her to prove that, in the story.
Yeah. Like at first she's not as good as it as the other men are in the tribe. So she's like practicing and everything, and she's like really trying. And she also has like like throughout the whole movie, she's with her dog that helps her
I love
along the
that dog.
way.
I
Like,
love that dog. The dog is amazing.
yeah, the dog's the homie. He be helping her on the most tightest situations.
Yeah,
Throughout the movie,
for sure.
but yeah, but yeah, that's like her sidekick right there. Yeah, her, like you said, her brother is like the main chief of their clan when they're going out hunting, and
Yeah,
he pretty much like they bump into like they sense it's like a wildcat in the area. It's like a mountain lion, and so they go searching out for it, and they get in a hot situation where they finally find it, but then one of their tribe members actually get killed off, and it's she also tries to fight at the same time in a tree, and yeah, that's where it shows her weakness of not having that much experience in hunting. But
right.
her brother ended up catching the wildcat and killing it, and it shows like that whole dynamic of how the different ranking system works, and like how the how his father passed down the chief role to him
Yeah,
as the leader of their clan. So I thought that was interesting to show how that dynamic works.
I agree.
Well, yeah.
I agree because what was really the difference between her and him because again like it just seemed like it was like he already been kind of like experienced into hunting and stuff like that, so obviously he had the upper hand of knowing what to look for and like what points of the animal to kind of strike at so that way it can take it down, like, without actually having to fight it. So for her, she kind of had some skill sets already. I don't think that she's ever like went up against like a like big predator type, big predator like that.
Right.
So I think like in that particular scene, it was kind of difficult for her to like go, like she was giving it all she had. I think she did fantastic. I mean, she had a plan and it worked actually. She just didn't get a chance to get the final blow on him. So,
She
it's
ended up blowing up the tree and getting knocked out.
yeah. And the whole time, I mean, Predator was actually just analyzing the entire fight. I think he was watching.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like when what I was talking about before, when they were showing the mouse and the snake, when the snake took the mouse and ate it, and it showed that the way the predator hunts his prey, it looks at the actual the predator of the natural ecosystem, and it goes after the most strongest thing. So it seemed that the snake was dominating the mouse. So it took once it took the mouse, it ripped open the skin the snake, and it kind of that was like a beginning sign of how the predator works and how he tracks down his prey. I thought that was interesting, and he does that constantly throughout the movie.
Yeah,
And,
he like he studies like its challenger, and I think they've always have done that. That's why they always use that invisibility cloak thing for them not to be seen. Obviously they like to be strike, like they'll strike their enemies without even them noting, like without their enemies being able to see them. But I think that's really in place for them to kind of study their behaviors and like how they actually manage, like how they plan their attacks on each other. You know what I mean? So that's why I like that about Predator, is that he's always studying movements and stuff like that.
yeah, definitely. And like you were just saying, after that he starts studying the humans because he sensed that they were around the area. So he obviously seen that they took down the wildcat too. But at the same time, our main character, she was trying to warn everybody that she's seen a skinned snake, and she found that kind of odd. That oh yeah, and also she found like a bear trap too. And earlier on, because her dog got caught in a bear trap.
Yeah.
She's like she was kind of thrown off by that too. But yeah, she was trying to warn everybody that it was like something out of this this normal nature realm that she was sensing that it was some other being or something around, but the other guys weren't really believing her. They just chalked it up to being a bear or something because they found like footprints throughout the forest, but they didn't really believe her.
It's always that one. It's always that one that everybody always thinks that's crazy. You know what I mean? In movies, especially, like, there's always that one that's always like, yo, I'm telling you guys, like, you guys don't believe me, and you know what I mean? Like, there's something really fucking out there, and they're looking at them like, dude, like, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like, it's always that.
Like, in that time period, you wouldn't think of anything outside of your realm of what you already seen. So I can't blame him for that. But it's like those footprints didn't look like bear footprints. That's the one part I'm like, come on now, those don't even look like bear footprints. They look like some other.
Yeah, and it's like, and she had a point with the snake too. It was like, who skins a snake like that? I don't even know what animal does. I mean, even if an animal eats a snake, it's like, it's gonna just eat it. You know what I mean? Or it'll just take chunks out of it or whatever the case is. But it wouldn't skin it alive like that. You know.
Exactly. It's out of the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they after they killed the wildcat and everything, they go back to the camp and they celebrate their I'm not sure, they never really clarified, or unless I missed it, but it looked like the old guy that's always at their main camp base. I think he's like the main chief. I think that's their dad, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, he celebrated his son, if that's his son, coming back, and you know, they did like their ritual, they paraded and everything, so that was cool. But she was kind of disappointed that she got knocked out during the fight, and that's when she took it to her own. And the next morning she got up, because like I was saying before, in the morning time it seems like all the women, they go out to scavenge for like the morning food. So as everybody was doing that in the morning time, she went out and she took it upon herself to go train and try to get better, which I thought was cool. It was like a montage of showing her trying to better herself at trying to kill like different animals.
I think what was interesting, and I agree with you, because it's like I thought what was interesting too is like she didn't, when she would go out and actually like try to get better with her skill sets, it's like when she developed the axe and the wire, way of like killing shit, or like, as an attack, it was like, look, I didn't see anybody else really coming up with ideas like that. Like that was different. You know what I mean? And that's why I thought there was actually a lot of potential for her to learn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she picked that up just out the blue. She was like, you know what? Let me tie this up to a wire. Even though they thought it was actually a funny way to kill or something, they're like, oh, you have to have a wire to actually, throw your hawk, like your tomahawk at something, or you know what I mean? They thought it was a joke. So it's like, I don't know, that was really unique. I think she definitely was like a big change on like how to hunt in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, even that was like a really good skill set to develop, kudos to that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She got real technical in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because earlier on, when they were showing her trying to hunt down the bunnies, she couldn't really catch them with the axe because she was too slow when she was trying to do it manually. But then she figured to tie a rope around it, it'd be faster to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because you could ricochet it back to yourself. And I thought that was clever to do that. Yeah, she was actually using her brain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think most of the hunters actually in the tribe was just like always kind of doing the same exact ways of hunting. You know what I mean? Like, and not saying it was like, not good at all. I mean, obviously it worked for a lot of the prey that they would catch, like a lot of the foods that they would have to go out and hunt for. But I mean, it was, she wanted to set be a change. She wanted to change like the way of like actually hunting for shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's still the same as far as like tracking, footprints and, even just like things out of place. You know what I mean? Like, like she still kept those methods, but like as far as like changing, like her combat it's just kind of like that was different. You know, she didn't want to be like that. She wanted to be different. And I like that a lot, you know.
Yeah. She sought out her weakness and then she adapted and she took that and built upon it with the rope, yeah, which I like. It's like it shows that that character was thinking about what their weakness was and they evolved from that.
I thought that was a perfect example of character development. Like the character actually was learning, like it developed within the, like, as you keep watching the film, like that's what I like to see in movies. Like the character learns from like its past like mistakes or even just adapting to it's mistakes that it's currently, you know what I mean? Like it's just overall like you seeing like the character develop into like a better way of like if it's combat, if it's love, it's, you know, I always like to see a character develop within the movie, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I like too to see, especially with our main character. That's important.
For sure.
But yeah. Yep. So like as she's like going on her own journey, she's like learning different aspects of being a hunter on her, being a lone wolf out there, you know, with her dog and everything. But her damn dog keeps running off to different spots every time she goes somewhere.
So I know, like sometimes he kind of disappeared, and we was just like, "What? Where'd he go?"
Right, like he got lost at some point, and she was like looking for him, but
he just reappeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, but yeah, she starts to like as she keeps going, she like gets like pretty deep into the forest, into the wilderness, and at some point she's like real far away from the camp, our main base, at a point, and she actually camps out, and it's like this big, nice view of like these mountains she sleeps at and everything, and it really shows like her journey of being solo and how she can carry herself without relying on the group as usual, which I thought was a cool thing to see. To show that she can hold her own.
Yeah, she was like, I don't need y'all. You know,
right?
She was like, I'm a prove, and I don't even think it was. I don't even think for her. I don't even think it was about wanting to be the top of the, you know, the best hunter. You know what I mean? I think she just wanted to prove to her tribe that she can do it. Anybody can. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're taught properly.
And because it goes to that moment where her brother brought back the head of a lion, and she's seen that how proud her family was when they brought back food like that, and she's like, I want to be like, you know, it was in a sense like she wanted to be in that place of what her brother did and be, you know, a provider and not be relying on.
And listen, not to jump ahead, but then he brought back a lion's head, but she brought back the predator's head. Ain't nobody gonna be better than her. That's what I'm looking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like towards the end.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna be better than her and her tribe. She gonna be spoken through centuries. Like she even got she got Arnold looking like a coward. Like, no, side note, I think Arnold did a fantastic job in the first Predator for sure. I think, you know, as a military soldier going up against like a, you know, an alien shit, like alien fucking creature thing. I thought they used a lot of good combat systems on like how to really go up against him. Plus, he took him on just by himself, just like how she did. So, I mean, he used a lot of methods. Like, I liked how he used like the mud to cover up his thermal sightings. You know what I mean? His thermal temps. So I like that, and that's why it felt more original with the original movie. You know what I mean? With this one, I mean, it did feel original, but I didn't know like what was it, like a fruit or something like that she ate to really hide the thermals?
Oh yeah, that's a part I kind of skipped over. Like before that, it's like when they was finding I believe the mountain lion, that it showed like one of their men got hurt. It showed him posted up against the tree. And he's all cut up from the lion, and they gave him this flower stuff as like medicine, and they was like breaking off like different materials from trees and like mushrooms and everything, and they made medicine for him. And after that, they gave him these yellow flowers that was in a patch, and he was like shivering when he took it in, and it was just showing him like hyperventilating, and it seemed like that healed him in a way. But and later on, like you was just about to say, it's like it's a way of disguising. Coating their body temperature in a way. It kind of cools their body down somehow when they take that in. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, this is interesting because the way that Arnold did it was just like, use mud to kind of camouflage yourself.
Right. It's like a way of cooling down the body.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, like that was a unique way to kind of hide your thermals from his sighting. You know what I mean? Because honestly, if you want to talk about like how the Predator can, how to really get around like his way of kind of trying to attack you, it's like they can't really do much with without the helmets. You know what I mean? Because the helmets is really they I feel like they depend on all their technology. Because I mean, obviously they're super strong, right? Like they're fucking, these creature alien things, and they're super strong. They are super smart. I wouldn't say super, but they're really good. They're really intelligent as far as like how to really, in combat system and knowing how to strike their opponents, and they're very creative when it comes to like how to kill people. Because I tell you, like in this one, the way that last battle towards the end, man, it was for me that was like I love this movie already. Like the way that he threw the bear trap at the dude's head, he used the shield as like a giant knife thing. The bombs. That's what I'm saying. But it's like it kind of depends on all its technology, right? Like without it almost in every single like Predator movie, it's like it's almost losing all the time. If you not noticed that without the technology, like it's without the technology, man. I feel like that thing is kind of like it's not useless. It still can fuck you up for sure, but it's like. It won't. You have a better chance to kill it more than you know what I'm saying. Like without its equipment and stuff like that, and it's not like spears and that netting thing that ties that ties you down to the ground and keeps squeezing you and shit until you like die. The two double blades that it has, like without its equipment, it's like it's not much without it. And if you really think about it,
yeah. Definitely, that's his weakness.
I still wouldn't go. I still wouldn't go hands on with him for sure. You're definitely going to lose. That thing he socked the shit out of that bear in this one, and I was just like, yo, that was.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. So it's like when she finally gets from that mountain area and she wakes up, she bumps into a grizzly bear, and her dog catches on too, and she kind of gets trapped in the area. Because she was trying to, before she was trying to kill it, be stealth and kill her with an arrow, but then her arrow snapped on her, and the bear ended up hearing it, and then it started climbing up the mountain where she was at, what a hill, and her dog luckily lured it away and distracted it for her. And as she was distracted, as the bear was distracted, she went after it, but then she began to notice all these buffaloes were skinned out of nowhere. And she was like, what the heck? She is kind of like a similar thing when she seen the snake skinned. And she noticed like this cigar next to the buffalo. And she was like, what is this? But then then she starts to see her dog run back. And the bear's coming after it. And then this crazy shit happens. The dog just books it. And the bear, she's about to fight the bear, and then the predator, like you was about to say, the predator gets into the fight with the bear, and she's like, "Oh shit, this is the thing that I was sensing that was in there when they was fighting the mountain lion." And then the damn bear got fucked up by the predator. It tore that bitch open.
Yo, like it was like a weird episode of WW SmackDown. Like, you know what I mean? Of wrestling. Like he picked him up, he slammed him on the fucking ground, and then it was like I just love that punch that he was going towards him because the bear was confident, man. The bear was just like fucking him up at first. He caught him. I think he caught him like a few times or whatever.
But fight.
Yeah,
Sure.
but then that last hook, man, he decked the shit out of that bear, man. He was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
yo, my face was like, when I watched it, I was like, shit, damn.
Yeah, it fucking mopped his ass. And I forgot that the predators bleed green.
Oh,
I
yeah. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they start bleeding green and shit. I'm like, oh yeah.
That's always been their thing. It's like they're always been bleeding green. Because like I said, they're not immortal. Like, you know what I mean? They definitely could die. They're just like us. Like, they're just really hard to fucking kill. So I'd say they are. They'll take bullets. You can dismember, like you can like cut their arms off and shit, and still it wouldn't go down, you know. But it definitely can die, you know, if you strike it in the right actual area for it to be, you know, a fatal death. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then the predator after the predator kills is like covered in all this blood from the bear, and it notices the girl and she starts running, and luckily she gets away in the river and everything. But she knows what that was that skinned the snake earlier on, and she as she gets away, you know, she I believe after that she bumps into like other members of the crew that's looking for her, that's searching for her, because I guess it's been a while since she's been out at this point. And you know, they start to be corny, and they're like, why, like, what the fuck, why did you run off? And they, you know, they start to fuck with her and everything, and they end up beating her up and shit. They gang up on her, which I know is like lame, because like, come on now. It's like, it's one thing that you're mad that she ran off and not notified the whole crew, but it's like, come on, why you gotta gang up on somebody?
Yeah.
Just because he was losing the fight. She was like beating the shit out of him too. Like, she was like, she had him for a second, but then his friends started to jump in too, and that's when she got jumped by him.
Yeah, he was a bitch. I feel like, you know, she was definitely giving him the treatment. Like, she was she was putting him down, man. Like, I mean, he just got that one little slick move, because like you said, the friend helped out and shit. But I mean, overall, like, she would have took him down, and I mean, again, like. They didn't have no respect for her because, again, I think it's a feminine thing. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, you're small, you don't really know how to hunt properly. They've always been doubting her. You know what I mean? Always. So obviously they don't take anything she does seriously. So that's why I'm saying for her it was kind of it must have been difficult because, like I said, it's like you have to prove yourself to the tribe, and not only that, it's like because. I really feel like it was a gender thing for sure, because it was just like, you know, I feel like if she was a boy, that would have been different, right? Like, that would have been a completely different scenario for her to, you know, I mean, for him to actually had to prove himself, you know, even if he was the weakest one in the tribe. I feel like they wouldn't have treated him any differently, like how they treated her. So, that's why
it's like they like the women are just known as gatherers and scavengers.
Yeah,
so
like she was. I think for her, she just was like, "Fuck that, man! Fuck that old program shit." Like, she was like, "I'm definitely gonna be the first woman to really prove to you guys that I'm gonna be the best fucking hunter out of all of you motherfuckers." And it's funny because that's exactly what happened. You know.
Like, yeah, that's like one of the main themes throughout the movie, that she's trying to prove herself to them, you know.
And in all retrospect, we get it's a movie, but it's like overall, like, she didn't even need to prove none of that, because I mean, she already was like, dude, even just coming up with the ideas of like how she actually, like, with the tomahawk situation, with the wire, with the medicine, she was adapting faster than any other hunter in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, she was just amazing at like just studying like all the natures of like combat, you know what I mean, or even just figuring out how to stay alive. Like she was doing phenomenal with that. That's why I'm like, you didn't have to prove yourself to like anybody. I felt like you was very good from the start, you know, like
she's good. She's very good at putting technical aspects of what she exerts around her and using it to our advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she did a phenomenal job in that, you know. So, you know, that's why it was kind of like a shame that she always had to carry this weight around her shoulders on having to prove so much to the tribe, you know, because she could never bring home like any animal that she had killed. So, I mean, hey, you killed the most hardest thing out there, even out of this world, like, you know.
Yeah. At the same time, it makes sense, you know, like typically around those time period, especially with Native Americans that I know of, like even with the men, like you typically had to prove yourself when you first joined a tribe. You had to show your strength. So it made sense of why she had to prove herself, because all the members have to do that eventually. You know, go there.
But at least, but at least have the door open, you know, for her to prove that. Don't just look through the door and kind of talk shit at the same time, you know. But it comes. That's what I'm saying. It just comes with that type of, I'm guessing, atmosphere. And, yeah.
From what they see, what they're used to seeing, what women are typically known for.
Yeah. Still,
but at least her brother wasn't like putting her down when he captured.
No, but he didn't even he tried to encourage her, but at the same time, it was kind of like he was also like, look, you did what you could. It you know, it is what it is, and he didn't try to keep pushing her to do better. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, he was just saying, accept the fact that you're not good at this. And that was unfair, you know, for her, because it's like, that's why I felt like she kept feeling like, I have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what made her want to keep pushing to be better. Because she didn't have no support behind her. She just had to keep proving this. Like, the only support system she had was, I think, somewhat her mom. I'm guessing, right? Like when they shared when she was back at the camp, you know what I mean? Like when she was waking up that one time, I think that was her mom, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think her mom was actually the only supporter that she really had, but everybody else was kind of like not really supporting her on that. So it was kind of shitty.
Her brother in a way too, because I remember her brother even trying to show her like how to shoot a bow and arrow. So her brother was kind of trying to, you know, support her. He was just doing it in like a tough love kind of way. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I agree.
He was trying to help her though. I could say that.
Yeah, I just wish he would have done more. I just wish he would have done more to help her, because I mean, that's your sister. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, it's not even about holding a title. I mean, for you, it may be. You know what I mean? I don't know what his intentions was. I don't know if, you know, just being the top of the top chief of like hunting and shit, or even just the tribe, was so important to you that you didn't give a fuck about helping your sister. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, it was like a power thing, but
yeah, I think his main thing was just trying to bring food back to his family. That's all. It's like, that's his main objective. It's just to survive.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah, he did. He did that. He definitely did that.
Yeah. But going back to that scene where she got jumped and tied up. Once that happened, they started to hear some shit, and she kept trying to warn them that it was something unordinary out there. But they still didn't believe her until you know, they just seemed like these possums, and it was like, oh, it's just a possum, and they killed it. And then after that, I think the predator actually did that on purpose, and it made the possums go out there just to trick them to go up to the possum. And then once that happened, it came up right behind them, and it fucking, I think it did. This is the first time in this movie it introduced the beam it has on its helmet. You know, the 3 beams it does.
Oh, like the targeting thing, right? Like that he has on his helmet.
Right. And it fucking shot 3 arrows in that bitch, and it killed him. And they was like, oh shit, what is that? And then they start to try to fight it off and shit. But they was getting mobbed one by one.
Failed miserably. Like, He did not. He did not. Like, they didn't even pose a threat. Like, he fucked them up. Like,
yeah, he was tossing them all about. And as they was fighting it, she was trying to cut herself loose from the guy that died with her hatchet, and she finally got loose. And then she went mano a mano with the predator, and she couldn't really hold her own against him, but she was able to. I forget what happened. I forgot how she got away.
I think she just kept running away from him, and then I believe what happened was she got trapped in like a bear trap from those I forgot what those other group of people were called in the movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he was right behind her the whole time. He baited her pretty much. Because again, I guess that she didn't see him as a threat. You know what I mean? He didn't see her as a threat. And then that's when she kind of figured it out. Like, she was like, she started to understand like what is his way of hunting. You know what I mean? He's not hunting for sport. He's hunting for a fight. You know what I mean? He wants whoever's the top of who can fight, who can be the best challenger for him. You know what I mean? That's how he looks at it. If you're not really a threat, then there's no point for him to fight you. You know,
right? Exactly.
That's how he. Which is interesting because I think that's always been their main mission, I guess, like, is to go around each planet or whatever the case is, just challenging people and then just killing them and shit.
It's like some gladiator shit, like the seal, the top of the top, take down that the top of the food chain.
But I mean, I think even if you don't pose a threat, it's proven that in a lot of movies. You know what I mean? All the Predator movies and shit. But even if you don't pose a threat, like usually, like, wouldn't it have just killed you anyway? Like, I mean, there's no point to, because you're not a threat, but it's like. Right, but it still killed a lot of people, you know what I mean, for nothing that didn't pose a threat.
Right. Yeah, but like you said, that's the typical thing it does. Like, for example, another example, it was a scene where a wolf was chasing a rabbit, and the predator waited for the wolf to get to the rabbit, and instead of going after the rabbit, it didn't really care for the rabbit. It just went straight for the wolf because it seen that it was a strong and swim out of that aspect. And obviously the predator won. And that's like a good example of what it seeks out for when it hunts its prey.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's killing for sport. I mean, I think, like, when I think of saying killing for sport, well, I'm guessing you can say for sport. Yeah, I guess you can say it. Because that's
not necessarily trying to survive, because like in the beginning it's just, I know, like in all the Predator movies, like it only drops off one predator, and that's a way of it proving itself that it can survive within this world by itself.
Yeah, it's always just one most of the time. I think the only film that had like three of them was, like, I think Alien versus Predator, but that was a whole different scenario because they were going up against aliens, like, you know, that's a whole fucking army. You know? Yeah,
it made sense in that aspect, of course.
Yeah, but most of the time, like, Predators 1, I think the remake I think it was a remake, but 2010, it was always just one majority of the time.
Yeah, and I think they do that on purpose, just to show that they can be strong on their own, which I think is like a reflection of why they made her, the main character, go on her own, just to reflect like her trying to prove herself as well, just like to marry that idea of being a strength without your group.
I think the Predators actually have its own tribe too, because I remember in one of the films, actually, they have like a king of like of their civilization or whatever the case is. Like, excuse me. I think they have their own tribe and shit like that. It's like a tribe that they have, and because I was always curious to, like, so what's the goal though? It's like, so if you manage to kill everything on that planet, then what? Are you going to destroy it? Like, what's the goal here?
Yeah, I wonder. I never know what their
That's what
overall.
I'm saying. Like
But,
I'm that's what
overall
I'm saying. Like
was.
I'm like, do you just you just go to that planet, fight everything that can challenge you, and then what? You know what I mean? Like what's the end game here?
Right. I guess it's just seek out a challenge.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's like going. He's basically going shopping. You know what I mean? Like that's why I feel like he's going, because it's like when he hangs them, upside down, and he takes their spinal cord out. Because I mean that's usually what he does. It's like,
Yeah.
for what though? It's like, you have a personal collection. Like, is this your hobby? It's like,
Yeah, because like that one part where I was just describing with the wolf, after it killed the wolf, it took out its spinal cord and it melted down the skull and it weared it as a badge of honor around his belt. So I thought that was interesting that it takes pride in like defeating the most challenges it bumps into.
yeah.
So I think that's like its whole thing of trying to seek out a challenge.
And this one looked a lot different from all the rest of the films, for sure. And I don't know if it's because apparently this happens to be the very, very first Predator that's crash landed here on Earth. So yeah, he looked at a little more different than the rest of them. Usually they have like this
silver helmet.
it's not even it's not even equipment. It's like the way that they look, though. It's like a regular like head with the four arm thing like on their face.
Yeah, it's like more like a Titanic or metal armor plate instead of like how we seen in this one. It's like a skull.
It's like a skull. He just looks a little more different, like without the helmet. I'm saying, like, the way that they look in general, like it just looks like I don't know if it's because evolution within time, they've gotten a lot more. I'm guessing, like within time, they look more different. Time has gone by. I'm guessing, like, I don't know. Like,
I think it's like the evolution of how they first was started off.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, for us, we went through the whole, becoming an ape, the whole thing of us transitioning to human beings. For them, it seems like that was their first stage, and whatever the case is, they look a lot more different than they used to, than they do in like Predators 1. They look like there's a big difference in them. They look more aggressive, and like in this one, in the Prey, like they look a lot more aggressive, and they look like they still have the technology that they had in Predators 1. Just not all of them, though, because they had like the spinning wheel thing that they toss. It's like a saucer. He did have the two blades, right? Like, I think he had the two blades still.
Yeah. I think like later on, I probably didn't get to yet, but like that's like towards the end, it's like they have like those little flowing saucer things, but that's like the most. They're like bombs.
The bomb things. Yeah, the track. Yeah, that they had that. It's like they still had like sort of the same technology in the other films, but it just seems like they just wasn't as. It's hard for me to say. It's like they're not the same as they were in like the rest of the other films. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're more advanced later on.
Yeah.
It's evolution, that's how I see it. It's like this is more ancient version of them in the past, of course. Then, like, as time goes on,
I will say this, compared to like the last one we had, because I think the last Predator we had was like, I think, the 2018 one, and that one it wasn't that it was not bad. I mean, it was kind of a combination. It was like so. You know what I mean? Because in that one,
it's like a comedy.
It was like a form of a comedy, and then also it was kind of getting a little ridiculous, because it's like they were like damn, what's that word? They were kind of like a genetic hybrid versions of like the Predators mixed with people and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of their fucking skin was exoskeleton type shit. Like they didn't even have regular armor. Like they had armor, but it was like their skin was the armor. They were super stronger than the regular version of the Predator. It was like it was kind of getting it kind of. It kind of was taking the same approach as Jurassic Park was doing. Like now we're getting into like scientific genetics and shit like that. It's kind of going like off the grid. So that's why I feel like it was kind of not going the way that I'm guessing whoever made that film was anticipating.
Right.
Because it wasn't sticking to like the origins. I mean, it wasn't sticking to like the original case of like what we're used to in Predators. You know what I mean? Like it, and that's why I'm saying this franchise is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but as far as like how it was kind of going, it was kind of like, all right, I think we needed Prey to kind of take us back to remembering on how it was.
Yeah.
How it was, how it was in the very beginning on when they first got, to Earth and shit like that. And even then, like I think in Alien versus Predators, they were even here before the Egypt times, and that was before Christ. So it was like, I think it even goes way before that. I don't even think this was the very first time that they came here, but that just happens to be the first time a tribe was looking at them. You know what I mean? That they came here.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been
I was
here.
just about to say that it probably was like even more earlier versions of them where they looked even more different previously.
Yeah, it's like they've been here a lot way before that time, man, for sure. But it was interesting, like you said, like it was interesting to see, like, around the 1700s where, they were just making those kind of guns where you had to pour powder into like the guns to shoot the fucking guns and shit, like a musket type thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that goes right back to the part where she got caught in the bear trap and she got knocked out by those people you're just describing with the muskets, and that's when she discovered that new clan of people. I'm not sure if it seemed like they speak in French. I'm not sure what language they were speaking, or I'm not too sure, but it's Westerners and people not from that land initially.
Yeah.
And they captured her and put her in a cage. And one of the guys there was he was just talking shit, and a daughter in their language is like a big guy. And she discovered that's where the cigar she found earlier around the skinned buffaloes came from.
Yeah.
And he's like the buffaloes and shit. And it was some other guy that he knew the American language, so he was like the translator, and he was showing, like, I'm not sure what the hell that was he was holding, but it was like some device that he found from the Predator, and he was trying to describe it to her and to see what it was, because obviously she bumped into the Predator as well, and they was trying to figure that out. But yeah, they captured her, and as they captured her, she also noticed that her brother got captured as well, and yeah, that's when shit goes downhill, because yeah, she gets mad and pissed off, and I believe after that, I think after that, that's when the scene where they used those two as bait, right? Like after they captured.
Yeah. Because they were under the assumption that he was actually just killing. That's why they wanted to sacrifice them to see if they can they can get him to come to them. But in reality, he didn't do any of that. He switched up the entire concept. And, that's why, that's why he started attacking them, because I think he seen them as more of a threat than them two were.
Yeah, because as we've seen throughout the film so far, like the same pattern. Instead of going after the prey, it goes after the predator.
Yeah.
Of that, every time. So they was seen as the prey because they was, the bait. So that was a non-threat. So instead of going after them, they went after the new group of people. And as they was posting out, seeing if they was going to lure them in. The guy with the telescope wasn't noticing behind him. His whole crew was getting killed behind him.
That was
like a dumbass. He was distracted and shit, and they just snuck up on him, put them up, and that's when everybody around, because the brother and the sister, they was tied up to like a tree and like surrounded on like all this mist and the water and everything, and they was witnessing all that group getting murdered in front of them now, and they was trying to, at the same time, the brother and sister, they was trying to get off the tree and everything, and that's when the scene you was saying earlier, where that's when the predator just started showing all his equipment and what it could do and shit, So it just started, wilding out on the whole crew. And they came on the ground and shit. They thought they had him. Because they was like hiding within like these small pits on the ground. But that didn't do shit. He was just going through them.
He was, bro, like I'm telling you, the bear trap attack, that shit was crazy, bro. He threw the shit out that thing. Because it caught him, I think, at first, right? He caught him at first, and then he took it out, and then just threw that shit at the guy's head.
Yeah, he fucked him up.
Yeah.
And it was this other guy. He was trying to shoot him in the head.
Oh my god, yo, he just stood there. He didn't even do nothing. He just looked at him.
He was like, "Go ahead, do it." Like a dumbass, he shot him in the helmet and it ricocheted and shot him in the
head. Yeah.
He was just taking them out one by one.
He was just fucking, bro. He fucked all of them up pretty much. Like
they didn't stand a chance. And even the big guy that was
he was gone. He ran like.
Yeah, like a bitch. He was trying to fight him, but he didn't. His gun wasn't doing it. But he got away though. Like some of them got away. But that's when her brother eventually got off because she noticed her leg was next to this bear trap, and her being like one of the smart ones in the tribe, she used a rock and she ripped open the rope they was tied to, and they got loose that way, and that's how they got away and everything. But yeah, that was that's like one of my highlights of the movie.
That was like the best part of the movie, to be honest. Yeah. It was just like the combat, like, yo, he was fucking shit up. That was a good opportunity. I mean, that was a good time like to really see like, Predator come back in action, man, because like I said, like we haven't got a Predator movie in a long time, so it was actually good to revisit like what this creature can do still, you know what I mean? Like it was amazing to see that. I think that's what really pulls in the audience all the time when Predator is always fucking shit up,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Love to see that
because he kills people in like funny ways, you know what I mean? Like with the helmet, with the shield, you know what I mean? It's very cool.
And shit, yeah.
And that's why I always think like, for him, like he's always tends to be better than, I like him better than aliens, because the aliens, it's the same shit. You get them pregnant, they come out with like the aliens through their stomach, and, it's the same thing over and over again. Like with them, it's like, it's more, it brings the audience, it brings in the attention more. Like even if it's the same like equipment that he's using to kill his enemies or whatever the case is, like I just like his character in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the differences I've seen between the aliens and the predators, like the aliens, they're more stealth versus the predators, they're more hands-on and upfront with you.
They can be both though. They can be both, and that's what I like about them. Yeah,
because in this movie especially, you constantly see the predator. He's like jumping through trees and shit. While he's invisible, like he's able to climb and everything. So it's like he has like so many different skill aspects he can do to hunt down his prey.
Yeah,
which I always like admire about him. But yeah. After they got away, I guess her and her brother got made a plan where her brother went off on a horse, and she went off to go through I believe she was trying to find I think she was just trying to find their home base of that group of people, I guess, just to find like a weapon or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to get down. And that's when she bumped into one of the guys that, I kind of skipped over that part. Like when they got away initially out of that area when they was all getting killed, it let off the predator when it was jumping through the trees and shit. It let off like this trap, and it was like the little saucer things, and they was like staring at it like dumbasses. And as they were staring at it, it just blew up, in the distance, and that was like, it was a wrap from there. But going back to where I was at, she seen one of the guys that got caught in that explosion, and his leg was missing. It was chopped off from that shit, and he was trying to, get her to give him the medicine, because I guess he knew that she carried that flower stuff from earlier.
Yeah,
it was people, and they made a transaction, and and that was the translator guy that she was helping out, and she gave him that medicine thing for the exchange of the gun that he had. So I thought he was like the only good one out of the group. Well, the one that was more reliant at least. But yeah, the Predator actually caught up to them when they was doing that transaction, and she went off to hide, and he he tried to play possum and try to play dead and shit, but the Predator was like walking up towards him, but it didn't sense his body temperature, and that's when we first discovered that that's when the flower and stuff cools down your body, which I thought was real interesting.
Yeah. He almost got away too. He didn't actually notice them, and then he stepped on his fucking leg, and it was over.
Yeah, that's when he was a goner. He fucked him up, and that's when she's about to fight 1-on-1 with him, but she wasn't she was doing good with the hatchet and everything, with the rope and everything, but it was kind of just starting to get too tense for her, and that's when her brother came in with the horse and was trying to help her out and everything. They was doing good as a team. I like that. Her brother was like really fucking him up at one point. Like it knocked off his helmet. They knocked off his helmet, and he did like this whole leap off the horse with the spear, and he got him in the back of his head, and he got a good shot out of him and everything. And but then, as the Predator does, he got invisible, and yeah, her brother they didn't stand a chance against that.
I really thought he was actually going to survive too. I was like, fuck, yeah.
That's when he pulled out the claws, and
he was doing good too. He fucked him up a few times.
Yeah, they could have had him if it wasn't for the visibility,
Yeah.
Sad moment. Her brother died in front of her, and she had to get out of there. But yeah, damn. Yeah, I think that was I think he was the last of the men out of the whole crew that survived. And after that, it was just her by herself after that.
Yeah, but like that the way she lured him into like the swamp, and then got the final blow with the helmet being tracked on him. He was an idiot for that. He fucked up.
Oh yeah, because before that, like she before she was retreated back to her camp base, I think it was like, I don't know, I think it was just another scavenger from the tribe, and they announced the death of the brother to the crew, and everybody was sad. All the family was sad and everything, and the sister was still out there in the wilderness, because I guess she probably felt guilt that if she would have went back without any repercussions of them seeking her out, she would have looked like shit, because that was their whole purpose of going out there, just to hunt her down, just to retrieve her. So I guess she remained out there just to prove that, she can take down whatever this thing that killed everybody, and at least that will redeem herself from that remorse she would have felt.
Yeah.
She went back. But when she was doing that, it was like nighttime, and she seen that the one other guy, the fat guy that actually survived, and she hunted him down. She lured him in with the gun that she had, and she trapped him, and she cut his legs off, and she used him as bait at the camp base she was at, and that's when the Predator found him, and he was trying to use the gun, but the gun was obviously she did that just as a diversion, and the gun didn't have any bullets, and he got fucked up. But yeah, that's when the part where you was just saying that's when it all went down, where she had him in this one area where she was familiar with the quicksand and everything, and she took that. And this is like the main thing I like about her character. Like throughout this whole movie, she used all the environment around her, that she, like, from the flowers to the trees and like the swamp area. Like every mistake that she made, she took that and used it towards her advantage, like with the hatching and everything. And like you said, she planted the helmet that her brother knocked off earlier. She took that, she planted it in between these two rocks, and Yeah, that's when she went down. Just her and the Predator. They just a 1-on-1 fight, and I thought that was that was another highlight scene. I thought was cool. Just to
Yeah,
end off.
yeah, because especially like, and then and while that was all happening, like I said, like that was like you had literally no time to strategize all of that, and she managed to do it. You know.
Yeah, she's good at technical stuff like that, and that's what I
Yeah,
like about the character. Like the most.
absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and
It's as you broke down the film. I'm telling you, like, like I said, man, this film, I really liked it. It got a chance for us to see like what it was like around that time era. Especially like I said, like we haven't had a Predators movie for some time now, so it was nice to revisit Predators again. Especially on a different take as a woman being the protagonist. And that's what I'm saying. Like I think she did a phenomenal job. The actor, uh, I haven't really seen her in too many things, but I think this was a really really good breakout role. I don't know if this like I don't know what other movies has she been in, but I think a lot of people on this movie were actually new to acting. So what a way to start for their career.
yeah,
So I think everybody did a phenomenal job at executing their characters.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the movie was great, man. Well told. Got a chance to see character development in there.
yeah.
Uh,
The one grab I would say I had with it is you did. I don't think they necessarily had to kill off all the men for them to prove that a woman can do it. I think the brother could have stayed alive and still shown that she was strong enough to hang with the tribe. But yeah, outside of that, it's like yeah, I thought that
yeah,
was
I
like a
kind of
good.
agree with that too. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
because
really wish.
you don't have to always go to the other extreme just to prove that a woman can do it. That's how I always see it.
Yeah,
It's like you can also be with the men, but also show that a woman can also do it as well. You don't have to also just kill off all the men just to say,
I,
oh, a woman can do it by herself. It's like
I really thought the brother was actually that would have been good to keep the brother alive though at least.
yeah, because it would have shown that they could have fought at like an actual family. To
Yeah,
even to men. That
nope.
would have been, but yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree with that. I agree
yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah, but there's one question I did have. It's not minor, but like towards the end when she was fighting them 1-on-1, did you know what that green stuff that was raining down on them in that area? Like what was that stuff? It was like some green rain shit.
I don't know if that was his blood or anything. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it was there before they even got there, like in that area, that
Oh
swamp area.
yeah.
And it was just like I don't know what that
I don't.
was.
Yeah. I don't. I can't even tell you. I don't remember.
Maybe it was just some stuff from the trees. I don't know, but I thought that was strange. I never seen that before, but.
Yeah. I don't even remember that scene. Like what part was that?
Yeah, it was just like the ending part when they was fighting 1-on-1, her and the Predator. It was just like some like glow in the dark green stuff raining down on them as they was
Oh,
fighting.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, it was cool how she broke him down too. Like she was like slicing at him and shit. She was like, yeah, she was getting it in, but he was also doing his shit.
So how would you rate the film?
I'll say out of 10, I give this about a 8. Yeah, 8 out of
It's
10.
funny because I think IMDb gave it like a 7. I gotta agree with a 7 as well. I think it was
Oh,
good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
real solid. One of the best ones I've seen in a while out of the
Especially
Predator.
for a Hulu original. Like
Yeah, like that's another thing. When you brought up the last one from 2018, like I thought that this one should have went in the theaters instead of that one. Like, come on, like this one
yeah,
should have. This was like theater quality, but
yeah,
I guess they didn't want to take that risk of how bad the last one did, and they just put it on Hulu because of
yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't know what the approach was for that. It definitely could have been seen in the theater for sure.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
But
But
definitely one of my top Predator movies for sure. I don't know how they're gonna top this with going somewhere else. I don't know if they're gonna plan on making like an Alien movie now again. You know.
dear Lord, yeah, they had to do it in more clever ways like this. 'Cause, if they keep just going in the future, it's like not much more you can do. We already know all their highest technologies from the past movies and everything.
Yeah.
So it was a good approach to them going into the past and showing how they became to be the predators of today. And, yeah. It's cool overall. I like it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and I think we pretty much covered everything on this episode. So I mean, hopefully, if you guys haven't got a chance to really watch the movie, definitely recommend it. Definitely, if you don't need to watch every single Predator movie. It's totally up to you.
It's a standalone thing.
Yeah, it's a standalone thing. So if you guys want to just watch this one, just starting out, you guys can. Definitely, send comments in the videos as well, just to see like what were your thoughts on the film, and like what things kind of bothered you, and what things are that you loved about it. Definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this film. But I think that's about it. I think we covered everything on the episode. Don, you have anything to add?
No, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed our commentary, and tune in for the next episode.
Yes, sir. And like Don just said, hopefully we you guys are enjoying the content we've been providing. Leave a like, follow, to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll continue to keep pumping out more content for you guys. Definitely want to see more. Definitely want to see you guys contribute more as far as commenting and being supportive of the channel. We really appreciate it. So we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yep. Peace.